This video, let us learn basic examples on two-dimensional array. The first example is in this way. Write a program to read only first row of elements from 3 cross 3 integer 2D array. So first, for this purpose, first we need to create a package. Two-dimensional array examples. The package name is two-dimensional array examples. The first example is in this way. Read first row of elements. .java. Read first row of elements. So we should specify the main method because main method is the entry point. Declare 2D 3 cross 3 array. So now we can declare the 3 cross 3 integer array. So first we need to declare the array now. Int a is equal to. So now we can declare the array in this way. It contains 3 rows. So first we need to provide elements 10, 20, 30, and here also we should provide 40, 50, 60. Here we should provide 70, 80, 90. Yes, there are 3. This array contains 3 cross 3 elements. It means it contains 3 rows and 3 columns. Read first row of elements. So for this purpose, we need to write for int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length, array name is a now, and I plus plus. So now we are supposed to read the elements, first row of the elements. A of, it means only the first row of the elements only we are supposed to read. 0 of I. So as soon as if we can run, it reads only 10, 20, 30 only. So it reads only 10, 20, 30. This is the first row of the elements only we can able to read. The second basic example. Write a program to read only second row of the elements. Second row of the elements from 3 cross 3 integer 2D array. So we can create a source file. Read second row of elements .java. So we need to specify the main method, and first we need to declare an array 3 cross 3 integer 2D array. Yes, we need to declare, and here we should read second row of elements. So how we can read the second row of the elements? It means the row should be second row and multiple columns it has to be read. Whatever the columns are available, those many elements we are supposed to read. Int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length, and I plus plus. So now we should print or read only second row of the elements, a of 1 and I we supposed to provide. So now if we can run it, we can able to read only 40, 50, 60. Says we can able to read second row of the elements. In the next example, we'll write a program to read only third row of the elements. Third row of the elements from 3 cross 3 integer 2D array. So again we can go to our IntelliJ, create one source file. Read third row of elements.java. So it should contains main method. Again we need to declare the array 3 cross 3 2D integer array. We need to declare from this particular array we should read third row of elements. We should read third row of elements. Again we can write a for loop int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length and I plus plus. A of 2 and now I. So yes, we need to provide the space. Now if we can run, it should display the elements 70, 80, 90. That is called third row. So it is showing the error message, compilation error. If we can start investigating, so we are not commented properly. So only one / you are provided. One / okay, it's not a comment, single line comment in Java. So we should provide 2 /. Then only it become a single line comment. So now it will display the result. So 70, 80, 90. This is the third row of the elements. Okay. So now in the fourth example, write a program to read only first column of the elements. First column of the elements from 3 cross 3 integer 2D array. So we need to read only the first column. Which is the first column? So with respect to our example 10, 40, 70, that one only we need to display. Again we need to create one source file. Read first column of elements.java. We need to read first column of elements. So first we need to declare the array. The same array only we can declare one more time. And now we should read first column of elements. First column of elements we should read it. So again we need to write a for loop int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length and I plus plus. So here column is fixed one. It is the first column, but multiple row we should read. So for that purpose, A of first column is 0. The first column is 0, and next one. So here, what is the special one? Column is fixed one. So I, and we need to say 0. As soon as if we can, I means it is the first row, second row, third row, because the first value represents row, the second value represents a column. There is a reason first column. As soon as if we can execute, it will display 10, 40, 70. So 10, 40, 70. This is nothing but which one? First column of the elements. Similar way, we have to write one more program. Read second column of the elements. Second column of the elements from 3 cross 3 integer 2D array. Again we can create one more source file. Read second column of elements .java. So we need to specify the main method. First we need to declare the array. The same array only we can declare. So since these are basic examples, that's the reason we are using the same array. Because we need to understand the the concept first here. Read second column elements. Again we can write a for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length and I plus plus. So a of I 1 indicates next column. As soon as if we can execute, it should display the result called 20, 50 and 80 it should provide. That is nothing but a second column. Yes. So now it is providing the result. I need to provide println. So as soon as if we can execute, it provides the result 20, 50 and 80. Yes, this is nothing but a second column of elements. We can able to read second column of elements. Sixth one, third column of the elements from the integer 2D 3 cross 3 array. Third column of the elements. Third column of the elements. So again we need to create one more source file. Read third column of elements .java. So we need to specify the main method because main method is the entry point, and again we can declare 3 cross 3 2D integer array. Now read third column elements. We need to read the third column elements. So again we need to use for loop int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length and I plus plus. So now we should provide a of I 2. So now the third column elements are nothing but 30, 60 and 90. These three elements it should display. So it will start reading 30, 60, 90. This is nothing but third column of elements. In the next example, we will write a program for this. Write a program to read diagonal elements from left to right from 3 cross 3 integer 2D array. So write a program to read diagonal elements from left to right from 3 cross 3 integer 2D array. So in this case, which are the diagonal elements? 10, 50, 90. These three are diagonal elements. So for the same thing I need to write here 10, 20, 30. So here 40, 50, 60 and 70, 80, 90. Here this is the diagonal 10, 50, 90. These three elements are called as the diagonal elements. So now diagonal elements. Create a source file. Read diagonal elements. So it should contain main method psvm. So now declare the array. The same array we are declaring. So once after declaring the array, so the next step read diagonal elements. We need to read diagonal elements. So now for that purpose we can write for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length and I plus plus. And for inner loop we need to write int j equal to 0, j less than a of I dot length and j plus plus. So here diagonal means, see again I would like to go with this particular example. 10, 20, 30, in this example, this is nothing but 0, 0. This is nothing but 1, 1. This is nothing but 3, 2. So this is nothing but which one? 3 rows means 2, 2. So this is 0, 0. This is 1, 1. This is 2, 2. It's nothing but which one? When the I value and j value both are equal, that becomes a diagonal element. Yes, we can write one if condition now. If I equal to j, s out a of I and j. As soon as if we can run, it displays the diagonal elements. What are the diagonal elements? 10, 50, 90. 10, 50, 90. Yes, it is displaying the diagonal elements. So in the next example, we can write one more program. 8th one, write a program to find sum of all elements from 3 cross 3 integer or double array, anything, double 2D array. So elements. So how we can able to do? Yes, we can see now. So either you can take integer, double array, anything, any integer or floating means decimal, anything you can take it. Then we can able to apply the which one? Sum operation. So now I would like to go. I would like to create one source file. Sum of elements.java. So first thing, we should have a main method. It is the entry point. Now declare double 2D 3 cross 3 array. So now how we can able to declare means double D is equal to, it contains 3 rows and 3 columns. This is the first row, second row, third row. So now we need to provide 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. So here in this row, so we need to provide, because we need to find the sum 10.5, 11.5, 12.5. So now we need to provide one more. Now we need to provide the third row, that is called the how much means 10, 20, 11. So we can provide 20.5, 21.5, 22.5. So we need to find the sum of all these elements. Sum of all elements we need to find. So for that purpose, yes, we can use for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I less than d dot length and I plus plus. So we can read first row of the element. Similar way, we can read int j is equal to 0, j less than d of I dot length and j plus plus. So in order to find out the sum, double sum is equal to 0. So now we need to specify sum is equal to sum plus d of I and j. Since we need to provide the total sum of all the elements, instead of writing the system.out.println within the for loop, we supposed to write outside of the for loop. So here we supposed to write sum of all elements, that is sum. So this is nothing but 108. So in the next example, we will write a program, 9th one. So write a program to assign elements elements of 2D 3 cross 3 integer array. Write a program to assign elements of 2D 3 cross 3 integer array into array to 1D integer array. So what exactly this particular meaning? Write a program to assign elements of 2D 3 cross 3 integer array to 1D integer array. It means there is a 2D integer array is available, 3 cross 3 integer array. So what are the elements are available in this particular array? Those elements we should assign into 1D integer array. So how we can able to do this one? So this is one. So first we need to create a source file, assign elements demo.java. So we should provide the main method. First we need to declare the 2D array. Copy. First we need to declare the 2D array. Yes, we have declared the 2D array. Now whatever the elements are available in the 2D array, we supposed to assign into a one-dimensional array. 1D integer array we need to assign. So assign elements to 1D array. So before assigning, first we need to decide the size of the one-dimensional array. How we can able to decide the size of the one-dimensional array? Is equal to new int of, because number of rows and number of columns. How many rows? A dot length, that is number of rows, into a of 0 dot length, number of columns. So it decides the which one, the number of elements available in a, the number of elements for which one, the 1D array. So once after specifying the number of elements, now we need to start assigning the elements from 2D array to 1D array. For int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length. First we need to read the elements. While reading each elements, we supposed to assign into a 1D array. J equal to 0, j less than a of I dot length, and j plus plus. So first we supposed to read elements a of I j plus s out. First we need to run this particular example now. Yes, we can able to read the elements. Our intention not to read the elements. Whatever the elements are available in the 2D array, we supposed to assign into a which one? 1D array. So I just remove this particular line, because instead of reading, what we supposed to do, we have to array called b is equal to a of I j we supposed to do. But what is the index of b? For that purpose, I need to take one variable called int k equal to 0. And because this variable taking care about which one? K is equal to k plus 1. The index for which one? Single dimensional array. As soon as if we can execute, whatever the elements are available in 2D array, everything will assign to single dimensional array. Now read elements from 1D array. read elements from 1D array. How we can able to read? So you can use for each loop or anything. You can able to use int val colon, what is the array name? B. Now we can try to read the elements. So val, as soon as if we can execute, it will display the elements from 10 to 90. See now. So currently we are reading the elements from which one? We are reading the elements from one-dimensional array. But these elements are assigned to one-dimensional array from the which one? 2D array. So in the next example, one of the basic example we'll see. Write a program to concatenate all elements from 2D 3 cross 3 character array. 3 cross 3 character array. So how we can able to do this particular one? So again, create one source file, concatenate elements.java. So it should contain the main method, because main method is the entry point. First we need to declare 2D character array, 3 cross 3 char array. First we need to declare this particular character array, character ch is equal to, because it contains 3 rows, because it is 3 cross 3 array. So first, what is the elements means? So A, B, C. So now I need to provide every character should be surrounded by semicolon. D, E, F. D, E, F. That is fine. Next, one more. G, H, I. Yes, we are provided some elements now. So we need to make sure whether we have specified properly. Yes, we have specified everything is properly. So how many elements? There are 3 cross 3 elements. The array elements are available. So now we need to provide one more flower bucket. Yes, that is fine. Once after declaring the 2D array, so now we need to do concat char array, character array elements. How to do concat means is, first we need to write for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I less than ch dot length and I plus plus. Again we supposed to do int j is equal to 0, j less than ch of I dot length and j plus plus. We got number of rows and number of columns we supposed to read. Now we supposed to print. Now we need to print ch of I, j we need to print. As soon as if we can execute this particular program, it displays all character elements in a single line. But this is not a concatenate, because since I am using a print, so that's the reason it is showing in a concatenation manner only. The actual concept of concatenation means we have to store it in a one string variable. Str is equal to. So we just provided a blank string. So now instead of printing the value, we should provide str is equal to str plus. We should provide in this way. Now we can print the value now. System.out.println. So what is the value? Str. Now if we can execute, so now we can able to see the concatenation result. We can able to see. See, this is called the actual concatenation. Which one? We are created on separate variable, and in the variable we are concatenating each and every character elements. Okay, now we have achieved some of the basic examples on 2D two-dimensional array. Thank you.